Okay, hello, this is Whitney Freya, and I am here today with Nicole Montez, and we are honestly just inviting you into a really interesting, fun conversation that we are going to have around my clarity session process. And Nicole Montez is an entrepreneur, an inspirational speaker, and she and I just met, oops, I almost fell off my chair. She and I just met at the Global Leadership Program that is under the Motivating the Masses and the amazing Lisa Nichols umbrella. So Nicole is another change agent and was graciously willing to join me to share with you what I'm calling a clarity session. Because who doesn't want more clarity, right, Nicole?
Right. Yes. Yes.
So this process is one that is fairly new in my kind of medicine kit. And the idea is that we all have right now these big visions, or we're being given, these hints and clues to the fact that our lives are all continuing to change more and more, kind of exponentially so, right? So the way we did things a year ago or 5 years ago, or even the way we anticipated our life going has maybe dramatically shifted, or you can tell that there is more to come, right? I think a lot of us have kind of these new desires or inklings about what our purpose is on this planet in this lifetime, what our soul wants to express through us. And what I know for sure, personally, from my own experience, is that for every goal I have, I can spend like exponentially more time than I want to be worrying about when that goal doesn't happen, right? And I learned this myself really strongly last spring because I launched my new website, whitneyfreya.com, and new branding and everything. And of course, it didn't go like as smoothly as I wanted to. So I was worried and stressed a lot. And what I realized is that when I thought about my goals of being a speaker to larger audiences, having a much greater level of financial independence, and things around my kids and my family, that immediately after thinking these things that I wanted, I pretty much every time without awareness would go to imagining, in essence, the worst case scenario, right? So, and that really struck me because I was kind of newly convicted information just intuitively in meditation around the power of our imagination. And that if we imagine it, it's literally just as real as this conversation right now. So our imagination is infinitely more powerful. And in fact, I think if we kind of turn things inside out and we're more tapped in to maybe our higher self or our soul potential, we would realize that the imagination is closer to the reality than this physical reality is. So that's a whole other subject for another discussion. But so what I decided is I wanted to spend my imagination power imagining what it is I wanted, rather than by default or without awareness imagining what I didn't want. So that's where these clarity sessions came into being. And the idea is that first we can simply and easily probably identify the top 3 things that we worry about the most. Okay, so we all have at least 3 things we're worried about, and then identify and kind of dig up, and I'm sure Nicole and I will have a really fun conversation around what is the limiting belief. And I don't know, Nicole, if you've heard this in all of these circles lately, but I hear about limiting beliefs constantly.
Yeah.
And it's like if we don't dig up that limiting belief, we're never going to get to where we want to go. So, right? Yeah. So tell me what you've been hearing lately about that.
I have 2. I think they keep presenting themselves even when you get over the limiting belief. The farther you go, whether it's personal life, career, what have you, they reappear. And you really consistently address them in different formats, if that makes sense. So I don't know, I love what you do because if you learn how to address it over and over in the same way, using your imagination and using your creativity, I think you'll overcome them much faster. The other ways haven't yet worked, so I'm really excited about this.
Okay, good. Yeah, so it's kind of like I've heard the analogy when you're weeding your garden, right?
Yes.
So when you're weeding your garden, you know you have to dig down and pull it up by the roots, otherwise it's just going to go right back.
Yes. And
So
reappear.
it's the same thing with all these goals and visions we have and the bigness we want to step into. If we don't first address the deep down limiting belief that's keeping us from thinking that we can do these things. And I've heard that anything that is not going, joyfully, smoothly in your life is because you have a limiting belief there.
Yes.
So we really want to identify that, and then we're going to create a new belief. So all
Yes.
of this is fairly, I think, somewhat common knowledge, right? What I love about the clarity session is that what we're then going to do is we are going to discover, remember, create a symbol that is going to symbolize your new belief, what it is you want to step into, the energy that you want to amplify in your life. And whereas words like money, relationships, growing your business, where all of those kinds of words have a lot of baggage, right? Like when I just say the word money, it's like, oh, I don't do this for the money. And for a lot of us in these kind of personal growth, self-realization, spiritual businesses as healers and, all of that kind of motivational speakers, all of that, we're so used to saying it's not about the money, it's not about the money. And I know for me, like I had a big hang up with the word business. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, this isn't about business. I'm not in this for the money. This is soul work. So I've done reprogramming around that. So whereas words have a lot of baggage, symbols do not.
Wow. Love that.
Yes.
So fun. Okay, love that.
Actually, this symbol behind me right here, first when you're in video, this is a version of my logo, my Whitney Freya logo, which that's a whole amazing story the way that happened. But for me, this symbolizes what I've always been teaching, which is a union of right and left brain. Here it's more like heart and mind coming together. It's also the as above, so below. And in the diamond in the middle is like heaven on earth. So for me, I can picture this symbol just in my mind's eye if I'm ever feeling overwhelmed or frustrated or when those series of things don't go the way you planned and you start feeling a little puny. I can think of this symbol and I know that that grounds me in the heart of what my business is and how infinitely big and how much the universe would want to support it. So without attaching words to it, that symbol reinforces to me what I'm trying to do with my clients and the people I work with. So when I had, for example, one of my worries last year was that I wasn't going to make enough money. I'm somewhat recently divorced, and so I went from like not having really to contribute to the household, expenses to having to provide 100% of it. And and I had a little bit of a transition, but that was a big source of worry for me. And so the worry was, am I not going to make enough money? The limiting belief was I haven't, up till now, like I haven't been able to earn enough of a living. My businesses were out because I didn't have to. That wasn't my focus, and so I always made what I needed to keep the business going, right? I wasn't worried about paying myself. So the new belief was that I am a creative pioneer in the new business paradigm. And so that gave me this whole new like blank canvas from which I could create, right? Yeah. So then I did my scribble drawing, and we're going to do this today, and Nicole's going to be able to demonstrate for us. So I did a scribble drawing, and I'll show it to you. And yeah, the symbol that came up is so simple and powerful that it's really amazing. So this is a scribble drawing. Now, if you see this blue line in here,
yes,
right, this was the original scribble. Oh. And like here's another scribble drawing, right? This goofy thing. So, this one I just pulled out the colored markers. And so for those of you who are going, oh, I can't even draw like that, I mean, seriously, this is really not that big of a deal. Sometimes they look like this, okay? Still figuring that one out. But this one is attached to one of these imagination goals. Okay, so in the clarity session, we're using imagination goals as the exercise.
Okay.
So what I saw first was this hot air balloon.
Yes.
Okay? And what I immediately pictured was, the hot air balloon rising up. There was the scribbles that were the mountains. And so the message that I got instantly was that if I keep my vibration high, right? Like if I keep my energy for my business around what brings me joy and sharing that joy, that I will be up in blue skies and I will be able to help other people over the rocky roads.
Yeah.
So now when I get worried about money and finances, I immediately just think I just have to raise my vibration.
Nice.
As long as I raise my vibration by focusing on the things that I love and sharing that, then it's nothing but blue skies. And what it also made me realize is that more so than the subject of financial independence, it's really the subject of freedom.
Yes.
So it's not that I left a 4,500 square foot house on a 650 acre ranch. Okay, and so I've had the money and the financial, independence, but the freedom is really what it's about, right? So now when I feel puny, like I don't know if you all ever feel puny.
Yes.
Yeah. I picture this balloon, and I picture, when you see it, like the fire goes and it lifts up. I just picture that, and I'm just going to keep my balloon way up here.
Love
so
it.
just that image, okay?
Love it.
I'll share one other example that just happened when I was in Nashville with my coaches. And so I have had this recurring self-talk around I'm not good with numbers. I'm not good with numbers. And so my limiting belief around growing my business was if I grow my business, I'm not going to be able to handle it because I'm not good with numbers. Okay? And what I was able to realize is obviously the limiting belief is I'm not good with numbers. The new belief was I love the energy of numbers. So the new belief aspect is really important. You really have to believe it. Like, I in my case, in this example, I couldn't just say I am good with numbers.
Yeah.
I don't really believe that, in that sense.
Yeah.
But I love the energy of numbers. I absolutely. I mean, the numerology, seeing 222 and 1111 on the clock, and I mean, I've got numbers, but I absolutely love the energy of numbers. So I did a scribble drawing, which I don't have that journal right handy, but I did the scribble. It's like literally this, just a quick scribble. And I saw balloons.
Yeah.
And my left brain, which this is what happens with you all when you do this, my left brain said, well, that's kind of lame. Like, how hard is it to see balloons in a scribble, right? Like, because, of course, I do kind of loop-de-loops. But I know to pay attention to that first intuitive knee-jerk reaction, right? I saw balloons. I drew balloons.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, okay, what do balloons symbolize for me? And probably for most of you, right, it's about birthdays. Okay, my birthday is 7/1/70. I have always loved the numbers of my birthday. I've loved being born on the 1st. I love that I was born in 1970 because it makes it real easy for me to remember how old I am because I'm getting that old that sometimes I have to really think about it. I'm like, okay, what year is it? Okay, that's how old I am. So I love the energy of the numbers of my birthday, and it also reinforced that ever since I was old enough to understand when my birthday was, I love the energy of numbers.
Yes.
Always love the energy of numbers. So after you do the scribble drawing in the journal, and this is what Nicole and I will follow up with you all later and share, you can do a painting. So I have this torn canvas, and I painted these really happy balloons on it. And I've spent several, you can kind of see the layers in there. I've spent multiple sessions, I call it a personal painting practice, when you go to the canvas to create the energy of what you want.
Yeah.
So I'll go and paint on these balloons just when I want to connect to my powerful, I love numbers energy.
Yes.
Okay. So now these balloons, there's nothing like scary or frightening or, too left brain or logical about this. But for this, every time I think of balloons now, I've got a
Yes.
balloon theme going on. I just realized.
Yes. I love
Right?
it.
Mansion.
Yes.
So, so that's kind of how it works. Okay.
Okay.
So, Nicole, do you have any questions before we kind of just get started? Like, can you think of anything that people might ask since you're kind of hearing all this for the first time too?
No, I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So, we'll probably end up focusing on one of Nicole's, worries, right? But do you want to share one or three of the things that you worry about the most?
Um,
We love transparency and honesty here, right? Every one of you who are listening, right? We're sending out gratitude to Nicole for being willing to jump in.
how about would worrying that maybe I'm not good enough be a worry? Or is
Yeah,
that a belief?
right? So you're not good enough. What are you thinking about that? I'm not good enough to be.
Maybe I'm not good enough um, to go as big as I possibly can,
Okay,
or as big as other people have gone.
right. Right, I have that one too, right? Because we want to reach large audiences because I figure if I'm
Right.
talking to a dozen people, I might as well be talking to 1,000 dozen. Like
Exactly.
how we
Exactly.
say that. Right. So and we've got good messages, and we know that when we got in front of an audience, the audience would be thrilled to hear what we have to say. But then you look at people that are already up there with those audiences, and they seem more than us, right?
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. Okay, so I know a lot of people can relate to that. Okay, so I'm not enough. I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any others you want to share?
I'll just kind of share what just comes right to me. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Um, I don't have enough time. Because logically, I know I have enough time. But
Right.
I have maybe that scarcity of, oh my gosh, I have so much to do and there's not enough time.
Yeah.
That I worry. I think I spend a lot of time worrying I don't have enough time.
Yeah. Definitely.
Imagine that.
Definitely. And share too, another one of mine from a year ago that was really powerful was I was worried about my kids, with the
Yeah.
divorce and everything. And I
Yeah.
was because what the knee-jerk reaction is that divorce is horrible on the kids. I
Right.
mean, kids suffer, and obviously, I was certainly not ever wanting to do anything that would make my kids suffer. So I really worried about that a lot,
Yeah.
um, and so the limiting belief is that divorce is bad for kids.
Mm-hmm.
That was the limiting belief, and the new belief was that that my kids are going to be more consciously loved and grow up to be more emotionally intelligent because of the divorce, which I absolutely know to be true. And they've got both their parents who love them, who are right here, and
Yeah.
talking about things that we never would have talked about. So I have
Yeah.
to show you this one, but because if any of you, in case worry about your kids ever, this was the scribble drawing that came out. I mean, it was so close to the exact, you can kind of see the scribble in there and then the scribble in the butterfly. But immediately it was a caterpillar and a butterfly, and it was just allow them to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're absolutely going to get there where they're more emotionally intelligent and they know, that kind of intimate love from their parents. But I have to allow them their own process. And
Yes.
a really beautiful thing with the butterfly is that if you try and help a butterfly, take the burden of struggling out of the cocoon,
Mm-hmm.
even if its wings are fully developed, if the butterfly isn't the one to fight itself out of the cocoon, it
Yes.
will be fully developed, but it won't be able to fly.
Really
Because the
interesting. I didn't
process
know that.
of flexing their wings to get out of the cocoon is what develops the muscles they need in order to fly. So
Wow.
you can't help, in those kinds of situations, you can't help someone through the struggle. It's
Yes.
in the struggle that they're learning and growing and strengthening so that they can fly.
Yes. Yes.
So, like, what an amazing, peaceful, um, just result of that whole thing. And that's really made a huge difference to me. I know my kids are evolving, and they're evolving through this process, and I know they're going to be these brilliant butterflies. So I really don't worry about that anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. So you don't have enough time, and you're not good enough. What else? Is there anything else that's coming to mind?
I want to think of three. Um,
So it's like I'm worried that, I worry that, when I'm doing the dishes or I'm going to sleep,
mhm.
get worried that this isn't going to work, or that is not right, or
I worry that, and this, well, you tell me this goes with not enough time, but really, I worry that I can't balance it all. That I worry that I can't balance it all. But I also worry um, that I have to be perfect, and I'm
mm,
not. I worry about that a lot. But so I think these are the things I spend time worrying about, but I think I'm linking them to limiting beliefs. Does that make sense? So I don't know if that makes sense, but I do worry that I have to be perfect, or um, I have to have gone through everything to be able to teach other people and help
mm,
them along the way. Does that make sense?
yeah, right. So that kind of feels back to the I'm not good enough too, like I'm not prepared.
Okay, how about this? Let's take it. I have an easy one.
Yeah.
Um, I I I worry about I worry that I have to sugarcoat what I really feel. That I worry I can't be completely truthful in what's best for me when in situations, or completely truthful about how I feel because I don't want to hurt people's feelings.
Mm, I don't know that one at all. Okay, so
Yeah.
do you worry that, so say it again so that we can just say it again and we'll put it into a concise.
Okay, so I'm worried that I am not able to be completely honest with what I want with those in my life. I feel like I have to um, metamorphose into their need of me. Or does that make sense? I kind of have to squeeze into, okay, I'll be that for you, and I'll do this for you, and being a mom, and a wife, and a friend, and a business owner. I feel like I don't shine in my solidness. I worry that I have to make everybody happy by transforming, and does that make sense?
Yeah, so you worry that you're holding back.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. See, you're good.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I know that one. I know that one well.
Okay.
That's the Marianne Williamson quote, which is like the lead video in my YouTube channel. Is about that. It's not that we're afraid of failure, we're afraid of our brilliance.
Exactly.
And a lot of times we find ourselves turning down our brilliance because it makes other people uncomfortable.
Exactly. Yes.
Not everybody feels like they have this life mission, or not everybody feels like they've really found their passion. And so when you
Right.
bring all of that to them, they're like, it makes them feel not enough.
Yes. Yes. It makes them feel not enough. That's it. And I think I've learned to hold back in many environments
Hmm.
for getting reactions like that, like that make people feel uncomfortable, or that I'm trying to be better than them, but really I'm just expressing truth and what I know.
Yeah.
So I think maybe by me holding back, I don't have to make them confront their own insecurity. So I hold back instead of,
Okay.
and I've learned this over time.
Okay, so what I just heard you say is that a limiting belief is that I'm helping them by holding back,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
right? Okay,
Yep.
so that's the limiting belief. So let's do this one. This one feels juicy, right? Can
Okay.
you all feel the energy around this one? It's like we get the others, like the I'm not good enough. Like we're
Yes.
all like me, like
Yes.
Lisa says, one hand up, two hand up. Yes, yes,
Yep.
like we all get that.
Yep.
But this is really specific that I'm helping my friends, my family by holding back.
Yes.
Um, that's so good. Okay.
And I
So,
wonder how many people have this, because no one ever said, hold back. No one ever said, don't go so fast. It's just before you know it, you're doing it.
yeah.
And you don't consciously choose, you're doing it. Yeah.
Well, as women, okay, so in my experience, as women, if you walk into a circle of people, maybe they're talking, at school or in the grocery store or at a mastermind group even, but just picture a group of women, like your friends you walk up to.
Yes.
Is it easier to walk up and be like, oh my gosh, you guys, I am so stressed and busy. And the traffic today, did you guys see that traffic? And
Yeah.
can you believe that so-and-so sent that letter to the principal and the nerve? And is it easier to do that, or is it easier to walk up and be like, you guys, I have the best news. I have to tell you. I absolutely
Right.
have to tell you. I had this brilliant insight. I made a phone call. I got this opportunity.
Right.
Or I lost 5 pounds, or I've started
Yeah.
meditating, and they'll all start looking at you like, don't bring that good, positive
Yes.
news and make us
Exactly.
feel like a bunch of schmucks, right?
Exactly. Uh-huh. Yes.
They don't say that, but you just get this feeling. I dealt with that a lot when I was in Nashville. At one point, I had 3 kids, 2 wine bars, the art studio, a book that was just published. I was co-chair of the fundraising PTO board, blah, blah, blah. And when people said, "What's going on?" I was like, "Well, let me tell you,
Exactly.
there is so much going on." And they didn't really want to hear what was going on because it made them feel like they didn't have a lot going on.
Exactly.
And I didn't really care. And I learned to not share as much, right? You tone it down. And then I learned to not necessarily reciprocate in the exact same way. Like, so
Yes.
what's going on with you? Because then they'd be like, nothing,
Yes.
nothing, right? So then
Or even.
I learned to ask them questions, like,
Uh-huh.
tell me what's going on with the
Yes.
treehouse you're building in the backyard, or whatever.
Yes.
And I constantly feel like I have this crazy, like I've described it as this freight train inside of me that just has
Right.
to move. Like there's nothing I can do about it. And I have often looked longingly, like I remember when my kids were in nursery school and the moms
Right.
hanging around in their tennis skirts, and I'm like running out the door to go to the wine bar and pay bills,
Yes.
And why didn't God make me that way? Like why do
Oh,
I
right.
have to have all this stuff?
Yes. Yes. And you learn to play it down. You learn to,
Yeah.
say, oh, no, it's not a big deal. Or, oh, just because you are afraid to shine too bright.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's this feeling that I'm helping them by holding back. I'm helping them feel better about themselves by me not shining as brilliantly.
Yes. Yes.
Also. Okay. So now we've got to create a new belief around this. Okay. And we have to really believe it.
Okay.
Okay. So what's the first thing that's coming to mind for you for a new belief? What's a new? It's like reframing. So instead of saying I'm helping people by holding back, so an obvious a place to start is to say I'm helping people by shining as brightly as possible. Um, I'm not helping anyone by holding back. So
I think I'm
that
helping.
could be it.
Yes, I like that. I'm helping people by shining as bright as possible.
Okay, I'm helping people shine as and but then what I feel like is there's really believe it is that while it's this thing about one person standing in their power is more powerful than hundreds of thousands. There's the book Power versus Force by David Hawkins that talks about the levels of kind of the energetic levels of different emotions, right? So like joy is like 800, 900, and guilt and shame is down at like 20.
Mm-hmm.
And we all kind of have a certain vibration that we naturally operate from, kind of like a radio dial. You have your station.
Right.
And it's like for everyone who's vibrating at, say, 450, that counterbalances like 300,000 people that are under 200.
Wow.
Yeah, yes. Yeah.
Wow.
And
Okay.
he made a comment that when he wrote the book that there were like 6 people on the planet vibrating at over 600 or 700. So it'd be, the Dalai Lama. I think Mother Teresa might have been alive then. So like the 6 people, like the Dalai Lama and Mother Teresa, are literally balancing the rest of the world. That if they didn't exist energetically, the average vibration would be so low that, the miracles and the good stuff couldn't happen.
That's amazing. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even vibrating at like 350 counterbalances like 100,000 people.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So, what I'm zeroing in on here is that a new belief that's really powerful is that by shining as brightly as I am naturally, by being my naturally brilliant self, I am empowering hundreds of thousands of other people to do the same.
Yes. Yes.
Because that's not attached to the people in your immediate physical presence.
Right. I like that.
You still may make them feel uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
I've had friendships that just never really grew because I made them uncomfortable because they would share an idea and I'd be like, that is amazing, you should do that. And then, the next time I'd see them, I'd be like, so how's it going? How's your idea? And they'd be like, oh, I haven't really done anything about it. And I was like, well, that's cool. You could do this. I met someone, like I'm constantly
Yes.
building bridges. And so they didn't want to walk across the bridge. And so that's fine,
Mm-hmm.
So by shining brightly and being your most authentic self, you're giving permission to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of other people to do the same all around the world.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right? Okay. So
Love
that's
it.
your new belief.
Love it.
Love it. So if you need to put that, so like in a clarity session, I would make sure that you had that, crystal clear. When I shine brightly, I am giving other people permission around the world to do the same.
Okay.
And I think the around the world is important because that communicates that it's not just about the people in my immediate circle, it's about the whole world impacted.
Yes. Got it. Okay.
Okay, so we all believe that, right? So all of you watching too, you just got this too. I know you did. So that's amazing. Okay, so now we take it to the blank piece of paper. You could use the back of just a piece of paper you have around. You can use an art journal. You don't have to have markers. I asked Nicole to have markers so that, of course, then I didn't get markers. I asked Nicole to have markers so that you guys could see on the video, right? And of course, I normally demonstrate, and I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see my pencil. Hold on. You guys are going to see my background of my net. Because with this art, with the art modality that I use, which is really about activating your creator self, because we're the ones that create ideas, create beliefs, create stories. We also create stuff. But for me, this stuff is about creating the energy that I want around me. My house is covered with all these amazing symbols because I need them.
Yes.
I need the positive energy.
Yes.
So this is literally how you do. Oh, I even have one already. Okay. So like here's an example of a scribble. I probably did that on another interview and have not turned it into anything yet. So it's literally like put the marker to you can do this right now too, Nicole. You just put the marker to the page. You can even close your eyes and just kind of do a quick scribble like that.
I like it. Okay, let me get a bigger piece of paper. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a little journal, like a little, but let me go get a bigger one in my
Okay.
computer.
Okay. So I'll explain to you guys while she's getting that. Um, so I immediately saw a bird here, which again, like balloons, it's not that hard to see a bird, right? But so I see a bird. So if I can even attempt to do this, um, and so maybe there's another way. So I'm just going to draw on it enough to turn it into a bird, right? Now, I didn't come, well, let's see. Let's just take the limiting belief that we just discussed with Nicole, right? So again, this is kind of about flying. If my new belief is that by shining brightly, I am giving permission to people all over the world to shine brightly. So uh, the bird could be a symbol to reinforce that belief. It could be because obviously birds are a symbol of the communication with spirit and our higher self because they fly between the earth and the heavens, so to speak. So they've always been that, right? There is that higher perspective thing. But I also, it makes me think of how, like birds, the migratory patterns, right? And how, like hummingbirds even fly for thousands and thousands of miles. Um, and they do this all intuitively. So it's almost like there's this energetic highway system or grid or memory that they're tapping into. So I would attach this bird to that new belief around how vibrating and shining brilliantly gives other people permission in that this intuitive connection that birds have that enable them to travel long distances, that just like that, when we choose to shine our light as brilliantly as possible, it's like this subtle connection between all the other people that are interested in rising above the normal ordinary existence and really shining, that somehow I'm connecting to them in that way. Okay, so that would be an example. So maybe when I'm feeling, oh, like I'm holding back, I just imagine like this bird tribe all over the world that we're all kind of tapped into this, giving permission to ourselves not to hold back because
Yes,
that's really serving the greater good.
I
Okay,
love
so
that.
yeah, that's just an example. So there's no right or wrong here. Absolutely. The symbols are actually closer to our subconscious. Images are closer to our subconscious than words. So whatever is really been sticking you in that limiting belief will have an easier time finding its way to your conscious mind through the image or the symbol than in just talking.
Got it. Okay.
Okay? All right.
Okay.
So
All
you're
right.
going
So
to
I have
one,
my
two, three,
paper.
scribble.
So do I just scribble and not look at it?
Yeah, you don't even have to look at it. You just scribble.
Okay.
Okay? And it's quick. And I'll warn you guys that a lot of what I talk about with my clients, my coaching clients, and the coaches that I train to do this kind of work as well, is that we have a right and a left brain voice. And they're both perfect. They're both there with very special skills and superpowers. But what happens a lot is our left brain voice gets to run the show because
Right?
logical mind. Yep. And so the right brain is the one that knows everything's working out perfectly. It's connected to the infinite, your higher self, God, whatever that is for you. The left brain is always trying to keep you from any kind of change. So it's going to be resistant to doing new things. And it's the logical mind. So as soon as you do a scribble, and I still hear it faintly whenever I do this, especially when I'm doing it in front of people, is I hear and your brain will probably say, like, oh, look, I'm so not good at this, I can't even see anything in my scribble.
Totally. I'm going to try to.
Right?
Okay. Ready?
Yep. Holding space for Nicole for her scribble. Okay. So,
If you can see that. Can you see that? It's kind of faint.
I
Can you
don't think we can really see it.
darn it?
But that's okay. That's okay. You look at it because literally it could be, well, here, I've got so many scribble drawings. Like, here's another one. Um, oh, I love this one. Okay. So You can maybe kind of imagine where it was this, I think it was this scribble, you know. And I saw these two fish, and what it ended up making me think of is that story, the rainbow fish, that
Yes.
had all the beautiful scales and didn't want to share them with anybody. And then when he realized that he could share them, that's what really made him happy.
Should I do it again with a darker marker, or should I keep with the first one?
Yeah, I mean, just look at yours
Okay.
and see what you see. And like I said, initially you're going to think, oh, I can't see anything. This is so bad at this. And again, it happens every time. So you just let that wash right through. And a lot of times I spin my paper, my journal, or whatever it is I'm doing it on. I spin it around until I see something. And again, it could be like I had this one time, and you can do these in groups. Okay, and when you do them in groups, you're just kind of, it can be just for fun, and then you can do it again and kind of ask for insight into something. What I found in these clarity sessions, that when you attach a scribble drawing to an imagination goal, it gets really laser beam. It's just, they're so clear. So again, this scribble is asking for insight and a symbol to attach to our new belief that when we shine brightly, we are helping people all over the world do the same. So, so you look at it and you just see what you see. And when something comes to mind, like this time I was describing, I saw a bunny. And I'm like, really? A bunny? Like, again, it's kind of like the balloon thing. Like, how hard is it to see a bunny? But I drew the bunny. And when it came back around to the woman who had started it, she goes, I saw it. And I thought, really? A bunny? And I'm like, I know. I didn't want to draw the bunny, but that's what came to mind. And then she had this whole story behind the bunny. I mean, it was perfect for her. So you just learn to trust your intuition, and you get better and better at doing these. So the scribble drawing, or we call them also now soul scribbles, because literally this is, your higher self, not your logical, rational mind, reaching out to communicate to you. This is your infinite, intuitive, higher self, soul awareness that is communicating through the scribble.
I love it. Okay, so I it took me a minute because I've told you I'm a lot of left brain, so I had to move over here and really think about this. But it looks like if you're looking at a big sombrero, a big like Mexican hat that's all decorated, and you're looking at it as if it's like laying on the table, and you're seeing the top view. So you're seeing like the view of a summer. Does that make sense? It's like not perfectly symmetrical or anything, but that's like really what I see, like something that you could literally see all the decorations and so beautiful on the top of it, and then you could literally like put it on.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so what does the sombrero, what is that party sombrero? Expand upon that. What does that mean to you? What does it symbolize to you? What does it make you think of?
Like bright and fun and colorful and joyful and happy.
Yeah, so it's like a special occasion.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
I picture you dancing around it,
Yeah, a little dancing. Yep.
That's
good food.
So let's attach the party, happy, special occasion, celebratory, energetic, high energy sombrero back to our new belief that when we shine, we help others all around the world to do the same.
Yes.
So let's just connect the two. How does the sombrero relate? I do it for you. I see it. So I
see it too. Like, cause when you're walking around with this imaginary, beautiful, bright sombrero, you are living in your own brilliance, and in turn, it's allowing other people to live in their brilliance and shine as well. So the sombrero helps me shine.
Yeah, and what's coming to me too is it's about a party, right?
Yeah.
And when you have a party, you invite lots of people to your party. Maybe there are some people you don't invite to your party, right? So this sombrero, for me, it feels like this party energy, and it's like I want to shine brilliantly, and I want to invite you all to my shine brilliantly party. Like, let's all have a party together. Like, this life can be a party, it can be a celebration, and I'm not going to stop celebrating because other people want to make this life work or hard or serious or, fear-based. Like, I choose to live my life in celebration.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I'm inviting you along with me.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
I love it. Mm-hmm.
So, and what's beautiful about these, so I read recently, in the last year, an actual definition for a yantra. Mm-hmm. So everyone's heard of a mantra, right? So traditionally, a mantra was a Sanskrit, saying that people would repeat, and the energy of the mantra would one kind of wipe the slate clean inside their brain to make room for the divine. And also the energy of those words that have been chanted for centuries has an energy. So that's a mantra. So it's a verbal, written saying that helps clear your mind. In the Western world, we heard about mantras like, I am abundant and healthy and everything's working out perfectly. That would be a mantra. So a yantra, instead of being words, is an image.
Okay.
So the yantra is something that you bring to your mind's eye with your eyes open or closed, just thinking about an image, and you allow that image to do the same thing, to kind of wipe the slate clean and align you with a higher vibration. Mm-hmm. So now I'm picturing you, Nicole, getting ready to walk up on stage, being nervous, maybe, like I would be nervous, right? Mm-hmm. And just imagining putting on your sombrero and walking up there and just inviting the entire audience to your life party.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I love that. Yes. How fun. I love that. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what the clarity session is about, right? So how do you feel now about the worry that I'm holding back to keep other people comfortable?
I feel free. I feel freer. I feel empowered. Yeah. By far. Mm-hmm.
And so is there like a new clarity around
yes,
the fact that you've felt that way up until now, and that now you can completely choose to feel another way about it? It's like, I'm clear now.
Yes.
I'm clear why that was a worry for me. I'm clear why I thought that way. And now I'm clear on what I'm choosing to think and feel about this.
Yes. I definitely know why I felt that way. I definitely know and connect to the new belief as far as shining brightly so other people can, shine in their brilliance and feel empowered and great and special. But aligning that with the image, my sombrero, you can't see, it helps because it keeps me in my right brain. It keeps me in the creativity. So I'm thinking about the sombrero and I'm not arguing with the words, because we can tell ourselves over and over, live in your brilliance, you should shine bright, but then you argue like, oh no, oh no, oh no. This sombrero symbol, it gets rid of all that. It's actually very clear. Yes, a lot of clarity.
Yeah, you probably don't have a lot of baggage around the sombrero, right?
You don't, not at all.
Someone tried to force the sombrero on my head one time.
Totally.
That's awesome. Yeah, what I love about these clarity sessions is that they're so, first of all, fun, right? Along the energy of the sombrero. This has been a really fun conversation, and that this is a really simple, accessible thing that we can all do. So what Nicole's going to do moving forward, and I'm going to, I'm sure I'm going to have to bug her about it, is she can find, a little piece of canvas. This is my eye of fearlessness. Mm-hmm. That would be another fun conversation.
Like that.
Here's a canvas. This is a symbol around my imagination goal of being perfectly supported as my business grows. So it's like I've got this heartfelt business, and it's got wings and this sun of self-love on it. And I did this yesterday for the Super Soul Flow program. But you can now have these images around your space. Even just drawing a sombrero and sticking it on your computer reminds you that what you're really doing is you're living life in celebration, and you're inviting other people to the party. Everything you do is inviting people to the party.
Yes. I love that. I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing how it all connects. It's
Isn't it
amazing.
amazing?
Yeah.
So we'll check back in with you guys and let you know. We've got to see Nicole's sombrero painting, and don't worry, Nicole, I will guide you through that. And
Perfect.
I'll also send you information, of course, on how to connect with me at whitneyfreya.com, connect with Nicole at NicoleKMontez.com. So it's Nicole Nicolek, uh,
Like
Kim.
yeah,
And Montez, M like mother, ONTEZ.com.
you got
Okay?
it.
And I do these clarity sessions, obviously, as part of my coaching repertoire, and they're a blast. And they absolutely create crystal clear clarity for you in whatever area of your life. And then you're left with this yantra, like the heart with wings, the sombrero, the balloons, and that absolutely straps rocket boosters to what you want to bring into your life because there's no baggage.
Yes. Yes. Awesome.
Nicole, thank you so much for allowing me to
Thank
share
you.
you and your audience and mine, and just being open and willing and all of that to just really kind of to show up
Yes.
and be your amazing self. So thank you. And in the process, you've given all of us permission to just shine as brightly as we want. And if people don't want to come to the party, that's just fine.
Love
Right?
it. Yes. I love that.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for watching, and we look forward to connecting with you further on this most amazing, wonderful World Wide Web. And what we are leaving you with today is to go out and just be as awesome and amazing as you possibly can, because we need you to do that. The world needs you to do that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks, Whitney.